Mike, you're watching Spiritual Combat, and title of today's show is be something basically like dealing with frustration, staying diligent, and like I've been harping on, a lot of the division among our people is just due to um, a lot of it's due to people kind of internalizing the wrong things. I mean, the word says we have to have diligence, be diligent, and be patient. You know, um, and like Brother Adonai says, and I agree with him on having a holistic understanding of Yah's word and what the whole thing says, not just focusing in on one area. When you get a holistic, so kind of when you, because me and him were talking about when we look at the word, we compare it to the whole word and how it fits into the whole um, uh, main idea of Yah's word. A lot of people are just bit mapping and focusing in on little pieces, and they don't see the bigger picture. Um, that's why you get a lot of people just focusing in on doctrine, and they miss the fact that the main thing is for us to get along in unity with our brothers and stuff like that, and for us to come together as a nation. They miss that big picture. So what ends up happening, they'll end up uh, ostracizing their brother or being at odds with a brother, and over some doctrinal issue. And why is that coming about? That's coming about because a lot of people have a false balance, I would say. They haven't done the work to get their spirit right so that they can interact in a mature, wise way with their brothers. And then in doing that, you can work through doctrine. You can be diligent, patient, steadfast, work through the frustration. I see a lot of uh, there's been brothers. I could give you some examples of people who have been in the Hebrew Israelite community. There's that one dude who he made those YouTube videos, and he did a good job on them. The secret identity of the so-called African American or whatever, and he did some high quality videos on our identity, and did a bunch of other videos breaking down Bible script. And then the next thing you know, he just fell off and you didn't see him anymore. Um, and then come to find out, he's doing hydroponics or something like that. Anyway, what ended up happening, he got frustrated with all the different doctrines and bickering and all that stuff like that. And and he got frustrated. Real talk. It's like a real man is comfortable with the uncomfortable. Um, when you become a leader of men, as you go through your 30s, and then by the time you get to your 40s and stuff like that, and if you got the full load, which is a job, family, people counting on you, kids, all that, and you as you become a leader of men and stuff like that, you frustration is the name of the game. A lot of people can't handle it though. That's why you get a lot of people who they're not in relationships because they can't deal with frustration. They can't deal with the pressure. And then when you put on top of that Yah's word, where Yah's word says it shows you how to operate your house, how to conduct yourself at work when you're dealing with people. Uh, there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of I don't know if conflict's the right word, but you, the way Yah's word, the way the word tells you to deal with situations and people is totally different from this society. It's the opposite. The Hebraic culture is if you got a issue with your brother, you take it right to him. This culture is, oh, just let it slide or turn your back or, because this culture is a gay feminized culture, so you don't deal with anything directly. So yeah, I see a lot of people who are easily frustrated with just somebody having typing something on Facebook and stuff like that. If that's frustrating you, wait till you get, I mean, wait till it gets to the point where you gotta lead a family and you're supervising people at a job and you're leading a group of people in the word and the real heavy stuff starts coming on, then you're just gonna fold under the pressure. You know what I'm saying? So, and what happened to me, uh, I got to that point in life. I was having trouble at work, trouble at home, trouble in all these areas. And the one thing I did know, I knew there was a way to deal with these situations correctly. I knew there was a righteous way. I knew there was something in the Bible too. I knew there was something there that would show me how to not get frustrated with these issues, but deal with them in a mathematical way almost where, okay, if they do this, then you do that. If this happens, then you do this. And sure enough, it was Yah's word. All that's in there. It shows you how to deal with these. But the problem is a lot of people don't have the faith or the courage or the boldness to do some of these things because a lot of this stuff in Yah's word, how to deal with people, how to deal with situations, how to deal with all this stuff, a lot of that stuff in Yah's word is going to go against your reality. It's gonna challenge you, and a lot of people are not up for the challenge. They're not real masculine men and stuff like that. So they end up with a lot of unhealthy outcomes to situations. Okay, so um, and yeah, like I said, dealing with some of these situations initially it can be uncomfortable. It could be uncomfortable confronting somebody face to face on issues, but in the end it yields great results. Whereas the situations where I didn't handle it head on just festered and end up being more baggage, and and when you have enough situations that you didn't handle properly and you see the results and you understand the pain of the results, and it just dragged on, and you see the unfruitful results of not handling the situation in a righteous biblical way. When you get enough of that happening in your life, eventually, depending on how you respond to it, but the righteous way, eventually you're going to learn that, look, I need to respond the righteous way. If you're a man of Yah, you're going to begin responding to situations the righteous way and handling situations in a righteous way. And you're just going to be like, I don't care how uncomfortable I feel. I'm going to deal with this thing. And have an efficient life, have efficient outcomes to situations instead of unfruitful outcomes to situations. This stuff pertains to, dealing, of course, with people, but dealing with our people in relationships, at work, all that. I'm real talk. I'm talking about in the past 2 or 3 years, I've heavily started implementing a lot of this stuff in my career at work and stuff like that, and I've seen big results. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I mean I had a situation, because I still get emotional. I had a situation this week where a guy at my job, he, most time he had nothing to say to me. He just came at me and he kept asking me if I was going to remove this component on the plane so it could be inspected. I was working on something else. And then he asked me again, well, did you get it off yet? You know, and in my mind, I'm like, man, what's he sweating me for? You know, why he all over me? You know what I'm saying? It's like this dude don't say nothing to me now. He trying to push me to get this off. But I realize when I deal with people at work, I deal with them from a anybody, whether they're above me or below me. I treat them as a superior. I say, yes, sir, I'll get that off for you. You know, but I was getting frustrated. So then I started getting the part off, and I was talking to this dude about he had to do some work to help me get it off, and then the dude came up again. He's like, "You got that off? Did you get? Are you gonna get that part off?" I was like, "I'm working on it now." I almost snapped on him. I was like, "Man, what you sweat me for?" You know, I was about to say that, but I was like, I didn't, because I'm using wisdom now. I'm fighting them emotions, and I clearly was in a position because he not my supervisor to say, "Man, why you sweat me to get this off?" But anyway, service mindset. So I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm getting it off now. I need him to do something. I'll get it off. Boom. End of the day, I got the part off. Okay. And then come to find out that we weren't supposed to take it off. And then the supervisor over the plane was like, "Well, why'd you take it off?" I was like, "That dude over there he was pushing me to get it off." And then he went over there and talked to him. He came back over, and the dude, was like, "Hey man, I was like, yeah, I took it off. Now I'm gonna end up getting in trouble." He's like, "You're not gonna get in trouble." He was like, "It's on me." He's like, "I'll tell him I pulled it off." And all the moral of the story is, he was pushing me to get something off. He was coming at me sideways. I took the humble route of wisdom that I've studied in Proverbs and Ecclesiasticus, and it ended up falling on him. He ended up looking bad in front of everybody. I ended up looking like the good guy. He ended up having more respect for me because you know, I did what he said without fussing, getting in an argument, all that stuff like that. So I don't know if that's a good example, but what I'm saying is we gotta learn to deal with frustration and deal with our brothers because it can be frustrating. We're coming out of these curses. Ain't nobody perfect yet. I'll deal with somebody as long as I know they're pushing forward and trying to press forward to the mark. Let's see. I got a verse here. It's 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10, and it says, "Wherefore thee rather, brethren, give diligence to making your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail." So again, like I was saying, you got to be diligent. Okay. Um, and then this is Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Okay? And I mean, like what I found is a lot of stuff that I might not understand. It looks like it's all over the place. Just go to the source. Keep digging, get to the source. You know, with the earnest desire of getting understanding, not being right. And, that's just kind of a simple nugget for dealing with a lot of situations I see, you know, in the Hebrew Israelite community. Now, of course, you run into people who don't want to. You run into a lot of people who are hooked emotionally to their doctrinal understanding or something like that, or to the pride of their doctrinal understanding. You got people who don't like to be wrong. I mean, I could really go in on all that, but I'm sure y'all understand what I'm saying. And it's like, that's the wrong mindset to go in with. I mean, because I'm not emotionally attached to what I know. I don't know if I'll put it like this. There were points where I was at in Christianity where I thought for sure I understood things, stuff that I had read right there, and then come to find out I didn't. So you can't be emotionally attached to your beliefs. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. You got to be willing to consider. It says, seek and you shall find. Not, it's just a continuous process of seeking and searching. And then it's just some common sense and like a holistic understanding. Understand that, hey, we're getting our culture back right now. And contrary to popular belief, how all these people be out here talking, they don't know everything. Because there's people out there who boldly proclaiming they got it. They know everything. Or there ain't nobody getting around this here and all that stuff. And you don't know. They was bickering and debating while Yah was walking on earth. And then it don't come down to you knowing everything. It comes down to you getting your mind right. Because then none of y'all know more than Judas. I don't care who out there big talking. Nobody had a better biblical understanding than Judas. And he went off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? And none of y'all got a better biblical understanding and doctrinal understanding than Satan. He got all y'all, you know. But it's getting your heart right, getting your mind right, getting them emotions under control and all that stuff. If you don't get all that under control, you're guaranteed to go off. Because Satan can manipulate your emotions. So he's going to get you off the path. You got to get your mind and emotions right first. Then you'll be able to get some doctrine. If your mind and emotions ain't right, Satan's going to just manipulate you and take you off. And you're going to be off somewhere else. Y'all want you to, the whole purpose of all this doctrinal stuff points to you getting your mind right anyway. A lot of people show me right where they spirit at. You know, you don't have to look far. You go right on Facebook and just look in comments. You see people think you can't see through them. Like if you done this work of getting your spirit right, you could discern people just like this. They could type a couple things and you know right where they spirit at. But they think they're hiding, you know, but not to a person who's done the spiritual work and has spiritual discernment. So there needs to be a bigger emphasis put on getting your mind right. And if we put with the energy that these people put on doctrine and all that stuff, and if they put an ounce of that, just a small piece of that on getting their spirit right, you'd see a huge change in us as a nation instantly. You see what I'm saying? Like that verse Paul was talking about, a physical circumcision is nothing, you know, it's a circumcision of the heart, you know? So, but anyway, I hope this video was informative. If you disagree, you know, contact me, put something in the comments, or if you agree, put something in the comments, you know. If you want me to talk on something or you feel I missed something, just let me know, right? Write something in the comments there. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. And you're watching Spiritual Combat, and have a nice day.